Greetings everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Captain Ryan. Today's video is, as promised, more Armored Warfare. I figured I'd pick up where I left off and continue with my Tank Review Tuesday series, although it's obviously not Tuesday. Still though, Tank Review Thursday it is. And the vehicle that I'm in today is the t90ms. The t90ms is a continuation development project off of the t90. And as expected, of course, it shares a lot of the same aspects and qualities as the t90. The difference is the vehicle has a lot better ERA protection. I mean, just look at that amount of ERA on the tank. The additional armor packaging, the cage armor around the back, pretty much means that the only thing you can shoot at this vehicle and reliably do damage is armor piercing. Which is good. Sort of. The armor on the vehicle, incredibly tough. But I feel like at Tier 9, this vehicle suffers a little bit. Because you see, it's got the same base armor, that same composite, as the vehicle before it, the T90. And you tend to run into more Tier 10, Tier 11, Tier 12, T14 Armadas, Challenger ATUs or ADUs. You tend to run into these when you're playing hard mode in PvE. And those 152mm guns, they'll just punch right through your frontal armor. And it feels like when they punch right through that armor, they're not even aiming at your lower glacis, which can be penetrated by this gun if you hit it in the right spot. But it seems like they're just punching right through that ERA and right through your upper glacis armor. So when dealing with those kinds of vehicles in PvE, it's really, really annoying. Still though, I love the vehicle. I love the way it looks. And I love the fact that it's so fast. It's a quick tank, and that's partly because it's not the heaviest vehicle in game for main battle tanks, anyway. I think the only other vehicle that I like more than the t90ms right now is the Type 98, and that will probably change as soon as they release the Type 99, which I understand is coming soon. And that's basically the Type 98, but it's got the ERA armor packs. A couple of flaws that I noticed with this vehicle, if you haven't gotten it yet, are that the moving accuracy on the gun is absolutely atrocious. And I mean that. It seems like this vehicle takes forever to stop and aim, but it also seems like this vehicle takes equally as long and has equally a poor accuracy if you try to fire on the move. So I find that I regularly end up missing shots. However, the vehicle does have more ammo capacity than its predecessor, mostly due to the additional turret space behind the commander and the gunner. Your autoloader is fairly quick, so you've got, with the appropriate upgrades to the vehicle, you've got a pretty good rate of reload, just a little over 6 seconds. The vehicle, with its high shell damage as well as a 6-second reload, can really turn around and do a sizable amount of damage during a battle. I think my record damage in this vehicle is something like 29,000 damage. A couple of the other problems with this vehicle are because of its size and armor. It tends to get damaged pretty heavily and pretty regularly. As you can see here, my turret has been damaged, my track has been damaged. I've had many games where I've been playing and had my engine damaged, my gun damaged, my sight damaged, my APS damaged, my turret ring damaged. And unlike some of the vehicles with Chobham armor, I tend to lose crew members more often in this vehicle than I do in those. So carrying at least a small med kit and carrying the large spare parts package so you can repair all of the things at once is an absolute must. The other thing that I find that I use a lot in this vehicle is the PvE consumable, giving you a full heal as well as replacing all your ammo. I find that I use at least the repair kit and at least the PvE skill in every single battle. Which is, it's a little disappointing, because obviously when you're playing hard mode, you can make the most amount of credits, but when you have to spend those credits to pay for your consumables, it can be a bit expensive. Still though, I really like this tank. Playing on this PvE map, I'm actually in a little bit of a competition with the Draco. And I'm in a little bit of a competition with the Draco because if you've ever dealt with one of those or played one of those, you're pretty much well aware that that thing just puts out a high volume of fire like nobody's business. And they're really annoying to play with. Not play, they're fun to play. They're really annoying to play with because they sit there and they just rack up the damage. I don't know how many rounds he has in his autoloader, but that is just ridiculous. It's like a big old panzer. But as a tank destroyer with a 105mm gun. So the t90ms, overall, it's a pretty damn good tank for a tier 9 vehicle. And definitely well worth the grind. I know I was at a toss-up because of the way the grind system works. Once you hit tier 8 in any line, you unlock the tier 9 token, and you can actually pick any vehicle at tier 9. Just like you can pick any vehicle at tier 10. It doesn't have to be in the same line. So I was kind of debating, do I keep and continue to play my T90 and pick the Challenger 2, or do I pick the T90ms? And I'm happy with the decision. The vehicle has great mobility, good ERA armor packs, which means you can only shoot armor piercing at this and reliably do damage. ATGMs are just not going to do anything more than annoy any person unless you can hit them in the engine or from the top, and if you're playing in PvP and in the correct position, that's going to be really difficult to achieve. PvE, of course, it doesn't matter because the enemy never fires ATGMs. The most annoying thing you're going to have to deal with as far as high explosive related stuff is artillery, and that's just going to destroy your ERA, which is pointless against armor piercing anyway, which is what all of the enemy armored vehicles will fire at you. It does pretty well. It's got reasonably good armor when dealing with hits from autocannons from the side, but that's only in the very forward sections. So from the side, you can be penetrated pretty easily by things like Terminators, Ramakas, even BMP-2s if somebody's foolish enough to bring one of those up there. As you can see there, I'm using the advanced thermal sleeve as well as the advanced shell materials. Now I only have the Mark IIs unlocked on all of those, which is the highest I've got. I don't have the improved breech lock assembly from the C1 Ariete, which was recommended as an available option. So because I don't have that, my overall accuracy is a little bit less than it could be, which is one of the reasons why it doesn't have the best accuracy. So as soon as I do get that unlocked, I'll probably swap out the advanced thermal sleeve for the breech lock Mark III to improve the accuracy of this vehicle, and it really does need that accuracy improvement. But as well, I'm running the firepower modules that reduce the reload time, even on the autoloader, because it's all about that rate of fire, and that rate of fire very, very important, because you can just put out so much damage during that battle. I'm also using the reinforced hull to improve the number of hit points. It doesn't grant me a lot of hit points. It's also the Mark II and not the Mark III, but it grants an additional 200 or 300 hit points, and that is at least a couple of hits, depending on where you get hit and by what. Overall, again, really happy with this vehicle, and I think that as I continue to play it, as I continue to improve my crew skills with it, and unlock the additional stuff to include the improved autoloader that increases the rate of fire by just 5% while moving, you know, I can hopefully get the load rate down to about 6 seconds, and I can improve the accuracy by an additional 20 more percent, and preferably be able to fire on the move and utilize the great mobility of this vehicle. I hope this video has you encouraged to come back to Armored Warfare, to get into the T90ms to play through and get up to that Tier 9 ranking, and that you feel optimistic and encouraged for the future of this game. Anyway, that's it for today's video. If you liked the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by liking and following my Facebook page. If you'd like to help support me and my channel, you can do so by becoming my supporter on Patreon. Any support level will grant you access to my World of Warships replays, some of which will end up on YouTube, and some of which are pretty good games but don't quite make the cut for YouTube in any given week. If you've got a World of Warships replay that you'd like to see on my channel, you can send it to my email, and if you've got the inkling to watch me play Armored Warfare and World of Warships live on Sundays, you can do so by following me on Twitch. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.